It's time for the CEO interview series on the Buckmaster Show, presented by Sun Corridor, Inc., representing one of the most dynamic and growing major business centers in North America. Sun Corridor, Inc. is a CEO-driven regional alliance whose members aggressively champion mega regional issues that impact economic competitiveness and quality of life. The organization has helped to drive significant business investment into the Tucson and Southern Arizona region through primary job creation, resulting in an economic impact of $29.5 billion, with 173 company locates and expansions, supporting nearly 51,000 jobs. For more information, visit suncorridorinc.com.
And joining us on the live line, we welcome Jeffrey Rothstein, the Vice President and Head of Legal for Roche Tissue Diagnostics. Mr. Rothstein is a member of the Sun Corridor Board of Directors. Mr. Rothstein, how are you, sir?
Thank you. Thanks for having me join you today.
Tell me a little bit about Roche Tissue Diagnostics, which was formerly folks recognize the name Ventana Medical Systems. What does the company do?
We are in the business of personalized healthcare for cancer patients, getting the right medicine to the patient based on tissue samples. But when a doctor takes a biopsy and that biopsy is then sliced very fine and put on a slide, it's so thin that it's transparent and you really can't learn anything from it. So it has to be stained in order to gather information. The first stain that's always done in the cancer world is to answer the fundamental question, does the tissue show cancer? Yes or no? And we make the stains and instruments that do that. Then the next question, which is equally, if not more important, is what kind of cancer exactly does the patient have, and what biological attributes does the patient have that may suggest to the doctor that this treatment or that treatment might be a better fit for the particular patient. So our role in this, we make automated staining instruments. We make the tests that run on those instruments. We have a library of about 300 such tests at the moment. We make high-resolution digital slide scanners and workflow software that brings the whole system together. We are a global leader in cancer tissue diagnostics, and we're part of the Roche Group, which is a global diagnostics and pharma company headquartered in Switzerland with operations all around the world. In fact, I can give you one statistic. Our products last year were used by a total of about 26.5 million patients.
Wow.
Around the world. And we are very much a Tucson business. We do our R&D and our manufacturing right here in Tucson at our site in Oro Valley and a smaller site in Marana.
Why was Oro Valley chosen as your home for this particular work?
Well, we are a Tucson-born and bred company. We were founded in the mid-1980s by a fellow named Tom Grogan, a University of Arizona pathologist, who wanted to find a way to speed the time between when a doctor says to a patient, I think we better do a biopsy, and getting the results of the biopsy, because that's an extremely difficult time for a patient. So he began working on what he came to call the wedding cake platter, which was his concept for a machine. You'd have the slides arrayed around the perimeter, and all the various liquids that had to be applied could be applied automatically. The business began in a garage on Prince Road. The story that I heard is you'd come to work, you'd pull up the garage door, you'd pull your car in, you'd get out of the car, and you'd start working on the lab bench that was adjacent to the car.
Wow.
We launched our first product, our first instrument, in 1991. We had our initial public offering in 1996. And around that time, we identified a large site in Innovation Park in Oro Valley as an opportunity to create a permanent home. We're just up the road from the Oro Valley Hospital, and that's what we did. So we have a campus now of about a dozen buildings in Oro Valley. We were acquired by the Roche Group in 2008, which gave us access to their global distribution network and turned us from a regional and national company into a truly international company. Today, we've got about 1,700 members of our team of the Roche Tissue Diagnostics family working in Oro Valley, in Marana, and also in the Bay Area.
I understand your parent company is very much involved in the fight against the coronavirus. Could you articulate a bit on that, please?
Sure. We were very proud of our colleagues in the Bay Area, in Germany, and Switzerland, who created the diagnostic test that I'm sure many of your listeners read about that was released in the middle of March. The remarkable thing about that is usually it takes 12 to 18 months to develop a new diagnostic test. And that doesn't count the time that FDA and other regulatory agencies are reviewing the file before it's approved. We went from concept to tests on pallets on the loading dock in about 6.5 weeks.
Wow.
It required round-the-clock work by the team, and we're very proud to be part of that organization. Some of us in Tucson had some ancillary roles in supporting that team. We have also announced, and this is another part of Roche that's based in Switzerland, that we will be bringing an antibody test, a serology test, to the market in early May. This test is expected by June. We expect to be producing, I believe the expression was high double-digit millions of these tests per month. And they're for use on a very large installed base of instruments, and so should face a little less of the challenge of, gee, it's great you have a test, but I never bought your instrument, and the test runs on your instrument.
Yeah, that is so important, that antibodies test to determine if someone has had the COVID-19. Are the results usually available then fairly quickly with this test?
Well, the process of doing a test is it has many steps from collection to getting the result. As I understand it, from the time that the sample is put into the machine until the result comes out, it's a couple of hours, but that doesn't take into account the collecting of the sample and the backlog that a lab might face in running the test and then getting the results back out to the doctors.
As the largest biotech company here in Pima County, what role have you been playing to kind of strengthen the local education system to get it more scientific or science-oriented, Jeffrey? Well,
Southern Arizona is our home, and we want our home to be a great place to live for all of us, for our team members, to attract the kind of talent that we need for our business to thrive. So it's in our interest to see that this is a strong educational community. We're deeply involved in scientific and business development and educational organizations across the region. I could spend quite a bit of time talking about all the different things that we've got going on, because we do encourage our team to get involved in the community in any way they wish. But let me give you a couple examples. We have long been involved in supporting STEM education opportunities, whether it's judging science fairs or tutoring at schools. We volunteer at high schools and middle schools. We have programs on campus for the students to come see our labs, see our instruments, learn about what we do. Frankly, we hope someday some of them will come back to work for us. We had a big STEM Careers Day planned for high school students that was scheduled for April. As you might imagine, we were forced to cancel it. Mm-hmm. But we hope that we'll be able to put it back together and bring those students back on before too long. We are also actively involved in area charities. One Roche tradition that we do all around the world is what we call the Roche Children's Walk, raising money at each site and then taking a walk as a business community in support of local charities. We had to do it virtually this year. We asked people to go for a walk at an appropriate social distance, take a selfie, send us the picture, and then all the pictures were posted together. This year we supported Youth on Their Own and Casa de los Niños, which are a couple of charities that we know well, and this is particularly important at this particular time, given how important that they really need the support the most right now.
Jeffrey Rothstein, appreciate the time. Vice President and Head of Legal for Roche Tissue Diagnostics, the leading global supplier of cancer diagnostic tests based right here in the Tucson area in Oro Valley. Thank you very much, Mr. Rothstein.
Thanks for having me with you.
Thank you very much. This portion of the Buckmaster Show presented by Sun Corridor Inc. For more information about Sun Corridor Inc., go to suncorridorinc.com.